All right, today I'm really excited to talk about some of the ways that we navigate how to make on the spot budget friendly decisions while we're at the grocery store. Okay, now keep in mind that most of the time that I'm shopping at the grocery store, I am not by myself. I am either with a toddler, a teenager, or some combination of that. So as I'm making these decisions, they are things that I have practiced over time. So it might be things that you would want to write down just so you can kind of keep them in mind as you are walking through the grocery store. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing that we have to keep in mind as we are working to make those on the spot, budget friendly decisions is to compare prices in the store as you shop. All right, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. These are some images that I took from my own grocery store this week. Now, I want to just show you some of the price comparisons here. So you can see, obviously, we've got nectarines, which are different than apples, which are different than a different type of apple, okay? They are all different prices. And quite honestly, I think they're a little bit expensive for our area, but that's kind of the reality of the situation right now. One of the things that I had noticed, though, is the difference in price just from week to week, okay? Last week, Fuji apples were 79 cents a pound, not $1.79, okay? So that's definitely something to keep in mind as you are working through your budget, okay? But if I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of these, I'm gonna pick the Fuji apples because they are the cheapest per pound, and all of these things are by pound, okay? Last week, the nectarines were cheaper than the apples, as well as the pears, which are all very significantly up in price this week, which is totally fine. That's kind of how it goes with produce, right? It ebbs and flows. But I definitely, as I'm walking through the grocery store, think, hey, maybe I was thinking I wanted to buy pears for my family to eat this week, but I'm not going to because now the apples are less expensive. And because I'm buying it all per pound, I know exactly across the board which one to choose. So that is a really great way to compare prices and to kind of think about what fits into your budget. Here is another example of price comparison, okay? I knew I needed black beans. I knew I wanted the low sodium ones. And so just looking at the difference between name brand, and which you can see the S&W name brand, or the Food Club, which is just the store brand black beans, okay? For the same amount, 15.5 ounces, you can see that the store brand is 89 cents a can versus the name brand, which is $1.28. In my opinion, that's kind of a no-brainer. And if you look at the ingredients on the back of each can, they're the same. So definitely be looking for those store brands if they're cheaper, okay? That's not always the case, but definitely be comparing those, especially if it's the same ounces or whatever. You wanna make sure that you're getting the same thing, obviously, but it's good to save that money. The next way I want you to look at price comparisons, and this might seem like a no-brainer, but I think it's something that a lot of people miss, okay? So I just took a quick picture of the smaller bottle. That's a 12.1 fluid ounce bottle of the Aussie conditioner versus a larger bottle, which is 26.2 fluid ounces, okay? They're both on sale, and obviously these special tags definitely draw your attention to them, right? The cool thing is they are both on sale, but if we look at the sale prices, we can see that one of these prices is actually better. So let's look at the smaller bottle, which is $3.99 per bottle, which is 32.9 cents per fluid ounce. And you can see that on the yellow part of that special tag. Now, if we flip to the other one, we can see that that one is $6.99 for the bottle, but it is 26.6 cents per fluid ounce. So a significant savings. So if we're going to pick one of these just based on the cost per ounce, the cheaper one to purchase would be the bigger bottle. Now, I want to give you a little bit of warning here because you can purchase that bigger bottle. That's great. It will definitely save you money long term. But if you don't have that in your budget right now to pay out right now, then that bigger bottle is not more cost effective for you. That means that you're probably leaving behind something else you already need, okay, or really need. And so that is not cost effective. So definitely make sure that you know what's in your budget and then start comparing those prices. All right. Okay, so another thing that we looked at while we were in the grocery store, and all of these things are things that we purchased while we were in the store. So definitely, you're seeing real life play out here. But one was the soup and oyster crackers, and we really love those. They're great for snacks for kids, just so you know. But I was just shocked to see the difference between the name brand, which is on the left side of the screen, and the That's Smart brand, which I believe is closer to like a store brand type. Anyways, it's the same amount of ounces, 9 ounces in each package, but one is $3.98 and one is $1.49. That's a significant savings just for the name brand, right? You could get the name brand, but look at how much more, almost 3 times more you're spending to get that name brand version. So if you're looking to save money, this is a really good way to kind of price compare and see which one might be best. Now, I do have to say that as we're looking at this, that special tag, that one that says that it's on sale, that can be really attractive once again. But make sure that you're not just buying something because it's on special just for the sake of it being on sale. Okay, definitely look at the other options around you and then make the best choice. Okay. Now, I did want to just show you this because I happened to go to a different store in the same day, and I noticed this too. Even the difference in price between stores is something to consider. All right. Obviously, you don't want to possibly do this every week, but it is helpful to kind of look at the different price comparison. Even in this case, those premium soup and oyster crackers were $3.79 compared to the store brand, which was $1.39. Both of those are cheaper than the previous store, but only by a few cents. So still something to consider. All right, when it comes to making on-the-spot decisions, budget-friendly decisions especially, number 2 is to know when to leave something behind. All right, I want to show you a couple examples of this. The first one is this. These are Betty Crocker cake mixes on sale for $3 for $5. That's a pretty good deal, right? But here's the deal. This is set up to attract you, to get you to buy those cake mixes. They want you to buy 3 of them. Now, I know in my store that 3 for $5 means that I can buy one and still get the discounted deal, whatever that might be. But for a lot of stores, that's not the case. A lot of stores, you actually have to buy those 3 in order to get, that sale discount. Here's what I want to say to you. If you don't need 3 cake mixes, do not buy 3 cake mixes. All right. I mean, if you have a bunch of birthdays coming up in the next month, then maybe that's a good idea. But if you don't need it, don't buy it. That's a great way to save yourself some money. Another great way to save yourself some money is to take a look at your cart as you get to the end of your shopping trip. Okay. As you're approaching the register, take a quick look and think about the fact that maybe there's something in your cart you didn't actually need. Sure, it might have been on your list, but maybe you have an alternative at home that you could sub in, or maybe you could just let that item go for the week. That's a great way to save $2, $3, $4, maybe even $10 in a week. Okay, so something to consider. Now, as we are continuing to make on-the-spot budget-friendly decisions, one of my favorite ways to do this is to track your spending before you pay. And this is my last tip for you today, but I'm just going to share this with you because I think it's been super effective for me. The way that we do this is as I'm going through the store, I'm either using my calculator on my phone, which I tend to mess up with, so I don't use it very often, but that's a good idea. Or I'm using the back of a receipt that I pulled out of my pocket, or a piece of the grocery list that I wrote out ahead of time. Whatever I'm doing, or no matter what I'm using, I'm writing down the amounts as I go. So you can see that, let's just use the one on the little piece of lined paper, but $3.50, and then I added $1 to that, $4.50. So whatever product I'm adding that amount to the previous number. Okay, so you can see as I got to the end of that one, my grocery budget was going to be $37.50 or somewhere in that range. Now what I do is I always round up to the nearest 50 cents. So that means that when I get to the front, $37.50 $37.50 might be what I added, and I know if my grocery budget was $40, I'm definitely staying under that. However, I am also probably going to save a few additional dollars just because I've rounded up as I've gone. So this is definitely a good way to go about keeping track of what you're putting in your cart, how much it's going to cost you, and whether you're going to get to checkout and still be okay within your budget. Then it's not embarrassing when you get to the cashier and you're like, oh crap, I only have $40, but my bill is $57. Right? This is a simple way to keep that from happening. And it's a good way for you as you are moving through the grocery store to think, okay, well, I'm getting close to my budget. Which items are actually needed versus which items are just wants? So these are all great ways to help you make those on the spot, budget friendly decisions as you are navigating the grocery store. And if you have additional ideas, please drop them in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, that's the best way you can support this channel. And I am so excited to continue serving you with these free resources and free videos. Have an amazing day, and I will chat with you next time.